Hey everybody! Glad you all are here. So this Tales from the Dryer is a very unique one. I got one of my absolute bestest friends in the whole wide world. Aunt, that's a lie. This is like my sister for real. This is the sister from my parents that they didn't know was my sister. Anyway, yeah. Her name is Yolanda, but I'll give her an opportunity to introduce herself. Um, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna do that now, and then I'll go into my story.
Hello, hello. I'm Yolanda Bynum. Most people know me as Yolanda.
Yolanda.
So I am happy to join you all. So listen to this story.
No, we're not gonna listen to the story. She gonna give us her intro. Y'all need to know who she is and what she do. Don't play.
Okay, I won't play with the people. Okay, so I'm an educator first. Every aspect of my life is teaching in some way or another. So I started out in elementary education, moved on to secondary education, and I'm also a business owner. I own Beyond Expectations Consulting, where I work with nonprofits, for profits, and individuals to help them build their organization and their business. They call me the fixer. So I can fix your resume, I can fix your business. Give me a little time, I can fix a little bit of your life.
Come on, here, come on.
It's the truth. I really can. I really can. So that's a little bit about me. I'm also a nonprofit guru. So
Call her. She'll be tagged in the description
call
box.
me if you need me.
So this particular story, I'm not giving no names. Aunt Londa knows this person, but we're gonna kind of start here, and we'll probably morph into some other type of conversations because that's what happens when we get together. But we worked with this particular person in a very non-traditional capacity.
Tell the people.
I
You can tell the people. Hold on. Let me help her tell you.
I'm trying. I'm trying not. I'm trying. I try to form these words so that people don't immediately know who I'm talking about. And I think if I tell this story, people will immediately know who I'm talking about. So let's start here. College, being very impressionable to lots of new things, being very judgmental to almost everything because people are so totally different than who you are when you get to school. I remember getting to school and I might have been there 2 weeks and I called my mama and was like, who raised these people? Like, they are crazy. But of course it was just the exposure that I had was my own little bubble. I didn't know all this other world. So we come in contact with the person and she's very clingy.
Yeah.
Which was cool because we were a little bit older. So we were upperclassmen at the time, but she was very clingy and she did any and everything she could to try to fit in, be a part. We telling a joke and she got to throw her piece of joke in, but of course it don't quite go, funny. Or, we getting ready to go do something and she want to be there to go do it, but she might not have the money to go. Like it was just, all this other kind of stuff. There was a situation where she comes up and she tells us that she had been robbed?
Yes, she had been robbed.
She had been robbed at the bank. The person that I am today had to be the person that I was then. Did I act up? Did I say, are you crazy?
You like, what? Because it was like she was telling us this story as if she had read it in a book. But while she's telling us the story, Nitra's like, wait a minute. We need to call the police. Like, she's like, but then the more she talked, the details didn't add up. And of course, it was because Nitra was asking the questions. And she was like, wait a minute. Hold on. But you said... And I think it took, a little bit of time, but we were just kind of like...
This is back in the day. My son calls it back in the 1900s. He kissed my tail on that. But nevertheless, he's telling the truth.
It's true. It's true.
So back in the 1900s, some of y'all that's watching this ain't gonna. There was a thing called a check.
Yeah.
You could deposit a check into the bank and immediately get credit. $3,000 check go in, $3,000 is in your account. You can turn right around and take that $3,000 out. You never had to. It never had to clear, per se. Anyway, that's what ended up happening. She put the check in, pulled the check out, pulled the money out, and went and bought all these gifts for us. Us being, a number of people in the circle at the time. And was it Christmas?
It was Christmas.
It was Christmas time.
Yeah.
But it was her way of wanting to fit in, wanting to, be a part.
Yeah.
And it didn't take that. And the interesting part is we never put that out there. So some people are always going to be people that just, whatever their past experience is, that leads them to where they think they have to be with you. I think it's important to understand that you have to kind of navigate this life in what is comfortable for you.
Yeah.
You'll always go through periods where I would talk, when I talk to Yolanda, Nitra never steers Nitra in the wrong direction.
Absolutely.
So whoever you are, whatever your name is, Penny, Trina, America's Best is America's Best across the street. You put that, you never steer yourself wrong. Now, you cannot listen to you, but you will never steer yourself wrong. And I don't think she had the confidence for that. And it was, I'll have to keep doing all of this stuff to prove myself or to, be a part of this situation or
And the
whatever.
truth of the matter is, when you are in that circle, you're going to operate in your position in the circle. Nitra won't tell y'all this, but Nitra didn't like me when she first met me. It's true. It's true. She ain't like me at all. She didn't.
I honestly don't even remember not liking her. Tell the story. Tell the people the story.
So we were in the same circle in college. And, it wasn't my primary circle, but I was in the circle. I had a few other circles of people that I just knew. So it was like, we had this event that we had to do for the school, right? And we were supposed to wear a certain thing. So we were supposed to wear all white, right? So I wear all white, but you can't see for the sake of the camera that I might be a little up top blessed. So I put on a little small, you can see this much of the black shirt so that in the places that we were going, they wouldn't tap me on the shoulder and be like, you showing too much. This one waits until the event is done and then comes back and says, and when we say we're all white, we don't mean a black under your white. And I was like, is she trying to call me out? She did call me out.
I'm not sure I even said it that way. I did say something to that effect. I didn't have a whole lot of tact, but I always told the truth.
Listen, either you're going to get the white with a little piece of black, or you're going to get all my goodness and mercy. I'm just saying. But that's kind of how we started. But at some point, she said, I'm going home. You want to go with me? I came home with her.
Exactly. So I don't ever remember not liking her at all. Like, I don't think that was a thing. I think it was just, the visual of who Nitra is. At the time, it was call it out or whatever it is. Now, if you don't call on my name to call it out, I'm not saying nothing.
Well.
But don't call on my name now.
Because you gonna tell it. She gonna tell it. All I'm saying is we got to a point where even in that being, that's my first memory, a specific memory of me and Nitra. I don't have another memory ahead of that. However, even in that circle of friends, there was something in me that was like, look, you still gonna get this little piece of black shirt under this. And I think I wore it every time we had to wear white. However, in who I was in that space, I was just being myself. My challenge is, I've taught elementary kids, college kids, I've worked with organizations, and you find people who see something in you and want to be close to you, but they don't have the piece of who they are that will give them enough confidence to just be. There's a time where I have this little thing where I say, just be. Because if being is not enough, you don't have to worry about the people you're around. You have to worry about who you are and what you're doing and where you're taking yourself. I have never been in a space where me being enough wasn't enough. And if I ever find myself in a space where I'm just being who I am and you don't like it, guess what? Either you'll leave or I'll leave. And the way my spirits work, my friend says my spiritualization works, I'll pray you out of my circle before I leave my circle. So it was just something about that time where we were all growing up, we were all maturing, but there was something that said, I need to do more, do more, do more. And the truth is, some of y'all watching have driven your lives by, if I just do one more thing for him, he'll love me more.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait. What do people say? That'll preach. If I buy him these new shoes, and he the first ones to have them, I'll stand in this line for 8 hours overnight in the rain, and he'll love me just right. Or if I buy her a ring big enough, she'll stop sitting on her phone texting other guys.
Or girls.
Whatever you like, whatever you choose. It is a thing. But being who you are should just be enough. You shouldn't have to keep doing and giving and overextending, and then you become a liar of who you are. Oh. You're no longer who you are. You're just lying. Because you're not that person, but you're pretending for the sake of fitting in.
You know that saying that says, when you tell one lie, you got to tell another. So if you are living a lie of who you are, everything that comes out your mouth is not true.
Yeah. And it's hard for people to believe you. It's hard for people to believe what they are. They're looking at you and they want you to just be you, but you're so busy lying, you don't see that you're already enough. Ain't that something?
That's crazy. So yeah, I don't think that she was, I'm not sure what to say where she was. Where do you think she was? I mean, what would you think was
happening? So I would probably say that she was so busy trying to fit in one place that if she would have just looked around her, she already had a fit somewhere else. I remember someone told me one time, they were like, Yolanda, you're always trying to figure out where you fit when you don't realize you're a puzzle within yourself. Mm-hmm. And versus trying to, the whole puzzle, versus trying to figure out whether I fit here, fit there, do you fit with me? And are you supposed to be a part of this greater picture that I'm creating for my life? Because a lot of my frustration in the past has been trying to nuzzle and fit somebody into a place that they were never designed to fit. And so I was getting frustrated all the while they were just waiting for the benefits of the big picture. And I think if she would have just looked around her, because ultimately I think she ended up being best friends with somebody that was on the outskirts of our circle anyway. Mm-hmm. And so recognizing who you are, you know, there's this big debate now going on about whether or not you could ask someone, what do they bring to the table? I don't care who bring what to the table. My question is, are you supposed to be dining with me in the first place? Forget what you're going to bring to the potluck. Are you supposed to even share a meal with me?
Are you supposed to be here at all?
You're not going to upset my stomach. I'm trying to digest and eat, and you ain't even supposed to be here.
Are you even supposed to be here?
Mm-mm. And then we all get this feeling when you're somewhere you don't have any business. And I refuse. I'm a different kind of old right now. I was the 1900s. I'm a different kind of old. I'm not going to stay in a place where I'm looking around and I feel uncomfortable and I realize, I shouldn't be here. Because 9 times out of 10, something is going to go down And you're going to wish you would have got up and left in the first place, because then you got some chaos happening. And I'm too old for chaos.
Let's go back to what do you bring to the table?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is my thought. At this point, for us anyway, and most, and when I say us, in your 40s, in your 50s, and beyond, you kind of gotten to this groove of life.
Yeah.
You know? So when a question is asked, if there was a question asked to me, what do you bring to the table? I'm not supposed to be at your table, because that's not a question that you ask somebody who already is there.
Not at all.
Absolutely. You don't have to ask questions to people who are supposed to be where you are. When you're supposed to be there, the comfort is automatically there. The peace is automatically there. You don't have to question me. What do you bring to the table? Oh, nothing. Because I'm not a table that you don't have a table that I'm supposed to be sitting at.
Right. And when you have the right people around you and you're around the right people, they know you intimately. Now, I'm an educator. Intimately, beyond what we have as a society made intimacy be, is not just about who you having sex with.
Right.
Intimacy is an intimate, close connection with someone. And when you are intimately connected to someone, you already know. You know who they are. I have calls all the time. People who will say, I don't know if it's going to take you a week or so, but I need a resume. See, I'm gonna have to charge you, because my people know, Yolanda, I need this resume tomorrow. Can you whip this up? They already know who I am. They know what I do. They know what I'm capable of. Now, let's be clear. If you're not at my table, you're gonna pay me anyway. However,
it ain't gonna take no week.
It's not gonna take me.
If you have any intimate relationship,
and knowing me, knowing who I am, you know what you can count on me for. When certain things go down, I know who to call. My neighbor's son broke into my house. I knew immediately who. I called my friend and said, I feel threatened and afraid. He popped right up, right? But then I have other friends where it's like, oh my gosh, I don't feel good. They at the house with soup. They at the house cooking, making sure I'm good. But then there are other friends, sisters, who I can call and blink twice and be like, listen, let me see your face so I can know what I need to do. Because she knows me so well, even if I can't articulate what I need, she can just pop up. And so you've got to have people around you who know you intimately and who can recognize when you faking. The problem is some of y'all have these associate friends. They're not real friends. They're associate friends. And they can't even recognize when you are spiraling downwardly quickly. Like you are going down, but because you can still show up and you look good and you smile and, you go shopping and everything is fine, you can't fake it when people know you intimately. And so that's what I think will really help us to continue to navigate this space is, let's think about Michael Jackson. I know we all know I don't care if you was in the 1900s or the 2000s, Michael Jackson. But I remember watching an interview where one of his sisters said nobody in his circle would tell him no. And when people told him no, he would fire them and replace them with someone who would say yes. Where's Mike?
Dead.
And I can't have people in my circle that will literally watch me die. Even if it's not a physical death. Some of us are dying emotionally. Some of us don't have peace, can't sleep, can barely eat, or overeating, overthinking, because you don't have anybody in your circle that will say, come here, your face don't look right to me. Sit down, talk to me. Or sit down, lay in my lap and cry. Or just sit down and don't say nothing, because I'm just going to be here. But I can't have a circle of people that's just like, oh yeah, you good. Because what happens when you're not?
Then you end up over in Aruba and the guy done took you and don't nobody know where you at.
Come on, remind the people what happened.
So, what was the girl's name? Her name was...
Oh, Lord. It was a big story. Natalie. Holloway? Was it Natalie
That's
Holloway?
what her name was.
Ooh,
Natalie
come on,
Holloway.
memory. Come on, memory.
So they go to Aruba for a trip. I want to think she was right outside of high school.
Spring break, maybe.
What? Go on a trip to Aruba.
Yeah.
And the last thing that happens is her girlfriend say she went with this guy, and we went back to the hotel. Me and Yolanda is almost 50.
Girl, stop telling your lies. Girl.
Listen, I know y'all don't believe it by looking at us, but them is the truth, and I don't have no problems to say it. Listen, you can see the rings. We vacation together all the time.
Yeah.
If she going to get in somebody's car, guess who else is going to get in somebody's car?
Facts.
You don't get to.
Facts.
Who does that?
You know, you're not across town. And let me just tell the truth. I can barely go to Target and take too long and ain't nobody heard from me without getting why ain't nobody heard from you?
When you love people, that's just the expectation.
Yeah.
And when you don't have people in your circle, they'll let you go and do stuff like that. Now, mind you, we might have to fight. Nitra, this is what I want to do.
Okay, well, do it, because I'm going to be right over here in the backseat with you.
You just don't do that. Anyway, the girl she's missing. And like they've never found her body, don't know anything. You know, they have a lot of speculation, but you know, certainties of what happened. But her girlfriends get up that next morning and they getting ready to go. Well, we thought she was going to come back. Oh, she didn't come back. Ain't nobody, no real questions. Number one, why she ain't there with y'all. But number two, we just going to go on back home. I guess she'll come later.
Listen.
Who does that?
They're not your people. That's not your people.
It is important that you find whoever is assigned to your life. Because that's how we're going to put it.
Right.
Whoever in this world is assigned to you to be your people. To be the people who will call you out. To be the people who will stand up for you. Yeah. To be the people who will just, like Yolanda said, they'll just be.
And let me just be clear. It doesn't always feel good when you have those people. I can remember I was kind of liking this guy. And, you know, he was giving me a couple of mixed messages. You know, he would come over for dinner. We would go out every now and then. And then he gives me this, the Lord told me not to date you. Okay. And it just hurt my feelings. But I was more so embarrassed about it and didn't want to talk about it. And Nitra was washing my hair. And she asked me about him. And a tear came out my eyes. She didn't say nothing else to me. Nothing. It was maybe a week later because she knew me. But then she was like, so when we going to talk about why you was dropping tears at the shampoo bowl? Because what she was not going to allow is anything to fester in my spirit. Because carrying infection in your heart is just like carrying an infection in your hand, in your arm, in your foot. If you let it go too long, they will have to cut that off. Carrying infection in your heart, everybody's talking about mental health and, you know, suicide. And that is a very serious thing. And most people who commit suicide, the people around them say, I had no idea they felt like that. I had no idea. And what will happen is when you start to let that infection continue to fester in your heart, you start to not be able to tell the truth to yourself. And then you can't control how you're thinking. And anything sounds good to get relief. Yeah. I had an uncle. He was an old guy. And he used to can foods and, you know, cook. And he had a meat house in his backyard. I'm a country girl, so some of y'all might have no idea what that means. He's the reason.
Google it.
Right. He is the reason I will not eat catfish. Sidebar. Because I saw him clean it one time and he kept saying, look at it. And I said, to this day, I still call it manfish because it looked like a man in the face with a mustache and I refused to eat it. But I remember he had this bunion on his foot. And they kept saying it was infected. What's the, not gangrene, but what's they call it? The other thing that you get in your joints that older people fuss about all the time. Gout in his foot. And I remember him sitting one time and he was like, go out in the backyard and get me the axe. And I was like, what? He said, go get me the axe. And I said, for what? He said, this thing hurts so bad, I'm going to just cut it off. It scared me, but he was in so much pain. He was willing to cut his foot off to stop the pain. What happens when the infection is in your heart and you can't cut your heart out? You do anything to make it stop. I would rather have to sit with Nitra and explain myself, answer questions that I don't even feel like thinking about, and articulate my spirit so the words live in the atmosphere before I try to figure out a way to end the infection. I'd rather avoid the infection. So, ooh.
I felt it.
Listen, I'm as the preacher say, I'm talking to somebody. I'm talking to somebody.
I felt it.
But it doesn't always feel good. And you can imagine, our personalities are, at this point, we are very similar, but our personalities in certain ways are very different. So I'm a softer, what do you say you got for the people that I don't have?
No, I said you got the grace and mercy.
I got grace and mercy.
I don't have
Nitra don't have it. And so I think the thing for me is when I get back to it, my uncle was willing to do anything to stop the pain. When I go back to that same guy that I was dropping tears at the shampoo bowl over, there was something blocking me from seeing that wasn't the best fit for me in the first place. And even though I couldn't articulate it, I didn't like what it felt like, I still sat with Nitra that week later and answered the question. So tell me why you feel this way. And do you feel this way because you really think he's the one? Or do you feel this way because, sometimes you need that person that can just walk with you. You're not lying to yourself. You're not misguiding yourself. There's something blocking you from being the only one that can navigate that space. And you just got to have the right people.
Right. Having those conversations sometimes. Yolanda is a true prophet of God. She ain't going to tell y'all that, but she hears from God. She don't even know these people. Like, I've been there. This ain't somebody she know. Y'all go to church together. These are people on the street. And she goes to, little artsy-fartsy places and buys stuff from people. And let me say something to you. These folks is hollering and crying and going on. She don't even know. Then she just leave them. Okay, then. Thus said the Lord.
Wait. The Lord has spoken.
He walks out. So I'm the opposite of that. Or not necessarily opposite of that, but I can just hear a conversation and I'll begin to ask questions that make people think and lead them to where they want to go. I can also hear a conversation and can hear what's missing.
Yeah.
Or you'll be talking, I'll be like, that's not how that happened. Because you haven't said the thing that you should have said to make me know that something is missing. You didn't go through all the steps.
Yeah.
So having those conversations with people, somebody is assigned to you for that. Somebody's assigned to walk to you and say, hey, listen, you need to go do this, this, and that. Then somebody's assigned to you after you've done all that to say, well, how did that make you feel?
Ooh.
Well, did you, when you did that,
don't lay out
on the people. Did this happen when you did that, or did that happen? Because it helps you get to the next place.
Yeah.
So I think overall in this whole conversation that we're having, it's just really about finding your place, the know of who you are.
Yeah.
Being able to listen to the spirit that guides you, because we all have it. Yep. I wish I could find that clip of KRS-One when he talks about the rock star. He has a a bumper sticker and it says rock star. And he tells everybody to close their eyes and say rock star to yourself. That voice that you hear, we all have that.
Yeah.
That's who you are. This shell is not. That is who you are. So we have that we need to listen to, because I believe that in most cases that doesn't steer people wrong. Mm-hmm. Now, if there's some mental illness playing, that's another thing. But just in general, we spend time just ignoring that, which is where we get. And then once you figure out who you are, you want somebody that can cover that blockage that happens.
Yeah.
Because we don't all have mental illness to that same degree. But I think in some cases we do. We get, this block happens, and that is a mental illness.
Yeah.
When you can't see what's in front of you because something has been, turned off, and you need somebody to help you navigate that. And when you figure out who you are and figure out who's the people that's supposed to be there, then that's how we walk through the rest of this life. People, I don't need nobody, I just need Jesus, which is great. I'm not saying nothing wrong with that if that's the way that you feel. I know for a fact I need other people.
Yeah.
I need people that I can see, put my eyes on. That's neutral.
And I say, spend the work making sure it's the right people. Because as situations come in your life, you will know if you have the right people or not. It's the people that show up. It's the light you can see in someone's eye when you have something good to tell them. Not, oh, I wonder when mine is coming, or I wish I had that too. Now, don't get me wrong. I can get $50,000 today, and this one is going to say, ooh, what you going to get me? Where we going? But guess what? She has earned that reaction. What I also know is she is going to do everything she can to make sure that mentally I'm prepared to handle $50,000 today. She has earned the right to be a part of the celebration when it's time to celebrate, because she has walked with me through the strategy to be able to earn $50,000 today. So you do the work.
She's already doing 50. She's meaning 500,000. I'm sorry. Let me. Yes, I'm gonna tell the people. What did Daddy say today? We was making affirmations. We was putting the truth out. If you don't check them, let me check her. 50,000 she's already done. It's the 500,000 that we're looking for to come in.
Yeah, and today, tomorrow, we all right with it. Either way, because mentally we prepared. And I say we because there's a sharing, there's a giving, I've earned the right to walk with you through all of this. Make sure you have the people with you that can hold your hand or kick you in the back. I go back to, I went through a period where I think I was still in my 20s. Something happened. I wasn't working. I was in this apartment sitting around feeling sad, trying to figure things out. This one shows up with a handwritten list of grants for small businesses owned by women. She put that thing down in front of me. You need to start looking into that. It wasn't no, woo, 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 come here, cry on my shoulder. My godson laughs. Why you and mama don't hug? Well, we just don't hug each other. I mean, I'm sorry. We just don't. But I guarantee you, there have been times where I couldn't get myself up. And not only was she dragging me up, she had a foot stuck in my back to make sure I didn't fall until I could get the strength back to take the next steps. Do the intentional work. Go through it. Make sure you have the right people, because everybody gonna want to come to the party.
So let's go back. We can wrap this up. Let's go back to the dude laying in the chair with the tears.
Yes.
So we have our conversation. I don't know what I said. I got a pre-James Adam brain and a post-James Adam brain. I can't remember. Nevertheless, anytime this one posts anything on social media, him is the first first one to respond. Oh, you look sexy. Oh,
You know what?
you do this. Oh, you do that.
Lord, you gonna make me get a phone call
said-
this week. Jesus. She be rolling her eyes.
If God told you no, how you trying to come back and say yes? Somebody lying.
Listen, the truth is,
Somebody lying.
that wasn't a part of the destiny for my life.
That's fine, but don't front.
Well,
And if you was fronting then, come back correct.
you see what I got to deal with?
That's all I'm saying.
And I rock
And
with
I don't
it.
have no problem with that because we all make mistakes. We've done stuff that we're definitely wouldn't do today.
Right.
But once I step back in your presence, let me correct this.
Yeah.
So guess what? He can do all that, but come correct. Listen, I was tripping. I was dating you and I was dating another girl, and I wanted to pursue her. Guess what? I can respect that.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth about who you are and tell the truth about what you're doing. You are not the first person that didn't want to be with me. But let me tell you something. The one that's got me.
We getting ready to go.
Ooh.
I love y'all. Bye.